Hello and welcome to Healthy Cleveland. I'm your host, Dan Monroe. Today we're talking about indoor air quality and why it's so important. My guest today, Dr. David Margolius, you're the director of the Cleveland Department of Public Health, and Yvette Mitchell, you're the environmental program manager of the Division of Air Quality. Folks, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Margolius, I'd like to talk to you a bit about the Department of Public Health. I know you're new to the job. Talk about that department, what you do, and even all the different divisions you have.
Sure, Dan. Yeah, so I started August 1st, it's been just a little bit, but I love being there. We've got 150 people in our department, 4 divisions. We've got air quality, environment, health, and health equity and social justice. And today we'll talk more about air quality.
Absolutely. What's your vision for the future for the health of all of our Cleveland residents?
Well, I say that as a department, I strongly believe that we can be the most responsive, most trusted, most impactful health department in the country. Cleveland has some notoriously challenging health problems. Of those, lead poisoning is well known now in Cleveland as a huge challenge. What's not so well known is that we have one of the highest smoking rates in the country at 35%. And so you'll see that all of us at the health department will be working on that over the next few years.
You know, Yvette, can you give me a bit of a history on the Division of Air Quality in Cleveland? It goes back some ways.
It does. The Division of Air Quality started back in 1977. We also have 4 sections in our program. We have monitoring, we have enforcement, permitting, and then outreach. And that is the section that I work in. And we work to give the message out to the public about the quality of our outdoor air, ambient air we call it, as well as our indoor air quality.
So when at the Department of Public Health did it become a concern for the indoor part of air quality? When would that come on the radar?
So people have been calling for a while, for a few years now, regarding indoor air quality, but there was no one staffed to answer those questions, and we always had to refer them to someone else. So once they created the outreach section, they created this program to respond to the complaints from the residents regarding indoor air quality.
And I think when we talk about indoor air quality, what do we mean by that?
So indoor air quality is talking about the air within and around the buildings, but especially as it relates to the health of the occupants. So we're looking at how does indoor air contaminants impact the health of those in those residential environments.
What are some of the factors that can cause poor indoor air quality? The first thing that comes to my mind is smoking.
Smoking is a big one. So whether you're smoking individually or living in a multi-unit building, smoking is a big problem. One, because there is no safe exposure to secondhand smoke. So even if you're not a smoker, but you're inhaling it on a consistent basis, it is possible that you can get some poor health outcomes as a result. But other things that contribute to poor air quality can include things like bringing in dry cleaning that hasn't been aired out, or your new furniture is giving off something called VOCs, volatile organic compounds, that can be found in your rugs and your furniture. Also, people do things in their home without really airing it out or proper ventilation, like hobbies that can include adhesives. All of those things can increase poor air quality in that home environment.
Yeah, you know, I've ordered something online before. I think it was some outfit or clothes or something, and it came in and it had just a pungent odor to it, like a chemical odor, and realize that goes through your house.
Absolutely. And on your skin if you wear it without kind of airing it out. So I always tell people if they dry clean clothes, don't bring them in right away. Try to air them outdoors and then take them out of that plastic, because the plastic is going to hold that chemical onto those clothing. Take it out of the plastic, let it air out a little bit, then bring it in. Don't just take it from the dry cleaners and put it on.
Now, I know when I asked Dr. Margolius, lead is the big issue here in Cleveland. Does lead play a factor? And maybe old buildings with asbestos, does that qualify too for your indoor air quality?
Those issues are considered indoor air quality problems as well. Yes, that it does play a factor.
What are some things that people can do to make their quality better, their air quality better?
So we talk about 3 things. It's indoor source control. So that contains worry about what you're bringing into the home, and then once you've identified the source of that, remove it from the home. 2 is, we call it natural or mechanical ventilation. That can include using a fan, an air conditioner, but also simple things like opening up your windows a couple of times a week to let it air out. We want to exchange that poor air indoors and flush it out with some fresh air.
Interesting. Okay. Every 6 months, I'm changing my filter in my heater, my air conditioning unit. Is that important too? Does that really help?
It does. It's catching particles. That filter is catching particles. So if you don't have a filter that's clean, you could be breathing in those very small particles. And also, 6 months may not be frequent enough. You want to look at your manufacturer's instructions. So pay attention to the book that came with your unit and then refer to that to tell you how often and what size.
Now, most people might not even think they have a problem with their indoor air quality. You might not smell anything. You might, how can you keep up on this? How can people just keep up on their quality of air?
There are monitors that you can buy. They're called indoor air quality monitors. There's all kinds on the market, but they can be very expensive. But also, what a downside of them is that they can produce results that people may not understand. So if you purchase a product and you really don't know what the reading is telling you, you may have to send that to a lab, and you don't want to be up in alarms. So we just say contact a professional. The Indoor Air Quality Association has a website. You go on there and you look for the professional, and you can find out someone can come into your home and conduct an indoor air quality assessment.
Is there any difference in your air quality that can happen between older homes and newer homes, or is it mostly older, or does it really matter?
It really doesn't. I've found out that new building material also gives off those VOCs, also gives off those harmful chemicals. So we understand that Cleveland has an aging population, but the quality of the home is based on what the occupant is doing in the home and how safe they're taking care of their home. Are you keeping that home maintained? If you find a leak, are you catching that leak early enough so that it doesn't turn to mold?
Dr. Margolius, I want to ask you this. What are some of the short-term and long-term health effects of poor indoor air quality?
Yeah, so one of the things that we worry a lot about is asthma. In Cleveland, we've got high and rising rates of asthma, especially in children. And those neighborhoods that are most effective are those neighborhoods that have been historically redlined on the east side of Cleveland. And so I think that's a big one. We know a lot about COVID and flu with poor air quality, just not enough ventilation. And so folks are getting each other sick. And then more long-term consequences like cancer.
Yvette, and you said it too, we're not talking about going out right now and buying an air purifier or spending all this money because you're afraid of indoor air quality. Like you said, opening up a window is just a best way to clear out what's going on. But what are some inexpensive ways, and I know we're going to talk about this later on in the show, inexpensive ways where they can make their own products at home? Can people do that?
Yes, they can. So right in your own cupboards, you probably have things as simple as baking soda, dish detergent, and a fresh lemon.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at exactly how you can make your own indoor air quality cleaning supplies right in the comfort of your own home. You're watching Healthy Cleveland. Stay tuned.
During these unprecedented times, there are resources available to you should you need them. If you are struggling with mental or emotional health, help is available. The National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. That number again is 1-800-273-8255. You can also reach out to the Lifeline chat at suicidepreventionlifeline.org. General information of mental health can also be obtained through the Ohio Department of Mental Health at mha.ohio.gov, Cuyahoga Community College at tri-c.edu, the National Alliance on Mental Illness at nami.org, and the Child Mind Institute, childmind.org.
And welcome back to Healthy Cleveland. I'm Dan Monroe. My guest today, Dr. David Margolius, Director of the Cleveland Department of Public Health, and Yvette Mitchell, the Environmental Program Manager with the Division of Indoor Air Quality. In our first segment, we talked about indoor air quality and what it does, what it means. But now we're going to show you a simple cleaner you can make at home to help kind of freshen up the house and alleviate indoor air quality issues. So Yvette, what are we talking about here? What do we have for this cleaner?
So we have an all-purpose cleaner. This can be used in the bathroom, in your kitchen, and it's safe. It contains simple ingredients that you'll have in your cupboard: baking soda, lemon juice, and any type of dish detergent.
Sounds like something that's easy to make and even safe for the kids to make too.
Kids can you can feel free to make this with your children because it's really safe.
So what's the step-by-step process in making this?
So we use dish detergent, again, about a quarter cup of baking soda and lemon juice. If you do not have fresh lemon juice, you may also use essential oils to give the cleaner a scent, and you'll get something that's the consistency of a liquid cleanser. And again, this can be used in your kitchen. I'm going to demonstrate it here with this coffee mug.
So it looks okay. Oh, with the green soap, it looks a little green. I like that lemony smell.
You're going to hold up the coffee mug, show how dirty it is.
So this is a before.
Okay. That cleans it right out.
It's gone.
So how can a product like this help with your indoor air quality? Is it because it doesn't have any chemicals or?
Yes, so one of the things we want to do is reduce the type of toxic chemicals we bring into our environment. Oftentimes we may be spraying the products that contain bleach and other harmful chemicals without proper ventilation. That produces coughing, could produce dizziness. And so these products do not have that kind of same side effects.
You know, I saw you making this during the break, and it would be fun for kids because you mix the lemon juice and the soap, and it kind of bubbles up a little bit. It's actually kind of a fun
little science project for the kids.
And especially right now, you can make a whole bunch of this. You can store away
in a airtight container so that it can last a while, and you have this for a while.
So, what are some of the ways your division reaches out to the community about things like this?
So we attend public events, we go to health fairs, we go to community affairs, and we also are having some school programming that we do where we take messages into the school system showing them, for instance, we have a Lego workshop, how to make a makeshift air quality monitor, so they become engineers for the day and they enjoy that. And of course, what kids doesn't like working with Legos? We also have been on panels. My supervisor, Christina Yoka, has been on panels where she's sharing information about both outdoor air and indoor air quality.
Now, if someone who's watching at home realizes there's something going on in my house, I can smell something, I don't know quite what's happening, who can they call? Where can they go? Is there a line they can call, a phone number they can call and say, hey, I need some help?
Yes. So we have two ways that they can report their complaint. We do so at 216-664-7442. That is a complaint hotline that's open 24 hours. You may speak with someone as well. And then we also have a website that you can go on and put your indoor air quality complaint, and someone will respond to your concern.
And it's a great website over at the Cleveland Department of Public Health. Dr. Margolius, tell people what they can see on that website and what they can learn from that. It's a great learning tool.
Absolutely. And so, as I mentioned at the top of the show, as a health department, we can be the most responsive, most trusted, most impactful health department in the country. And our website has all of that material and ways that we can respond to your concerns and be proactive and help make an impact in our community.
You know, this is fantastic. And I can't appreciate enough that you came to the studio today to talk about indoor air quality, something I never really thought of too much, and probably your viewers at home never really thought about too much at home. Thank you so much. I look forward to learning more about you in the future and what's going on. In the meantime, I got to go do some dishes. So thanks for watching Healthy Cleveland. I'm Dan Monroe. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.